Hi guys, Paul here from PABrewNews. Got a beer here from the Oliver Brewing Company. It's a DIPA, which is nice. Did a pale ale, did an IPA. Now for the last beer of this session, a DIPA. Yippity skippity doo. This is some Valkates. It's in the moody intro stage. So, Oliver Brewing Company, the Double India Pale Ale Series, Moss Generator, and that is a band, by the way. Moss Generator Shadowlands. 9% alcohol by volume. They do a lot of series with, don't say it's not bad, it's not good, just say with rock bands, different rock bands. That noise right there, that's from Nightmare on Elm Street. I just heard it, and I don't listen to these albums a lot, but I was like, wait a second, that's Nightmare on Elm Street, you little bastard. Speaking of some good old horror goodness and rock music, and Dokken did the thing for Dream Warriors. You hear that all the time on the radio, Dream Warriors from Dokken. If you listen to that kind of jazzy waz. We are honored to collaborate with the Doom Legends, I thought they were Doom, Moss Generator, on a double IPA full of riffs, melodies, and plenty of hops. This is not doom metal, it's black fucking metal. There we go, and Oliver Brewing Company has probably been brewing in Baltimore, Maryland since 1993, which is a good long time, especially for the good old crafties. Really cool artwork on this. Definitely has this kind of vampiric shadow. It's really hard to see. It's dark. It's a dark label though. It's like a vampiric shadow hovering over this mound and castle. It's very. It almost has like a veil over the shadow of Gorgoroth, kind of Lord of the Rings vibe, but at the same time, it's got this kind of fearless vampire killer vibe at the same time. It's pretty cool. Generally speaking, Oliver Brewing Company does some pretty good damn artwork with their series stuff. So. Moss Generator, Oliver Brewing, Listenable Records is what Moss Generator is under, apparently. And this is a double India Pale Ale at 9% alcohol by volume. I mean, that's a lot of information without actually getting any information. So there we go. About the beer, anyway. I think a lot of bands, I'm trying to think. A lot of bands, when I was still playing, because I have a bunch of bands and I was releasing albums and stuff. When I was trying to get like Funeral Dust signed, Funeral Dust is my only band I've never had signed. All the other ones got album releases, except my baby Funeral Dust, which is really funny. But I remember one of the big ones was Southern Lord. Southern Lord was doing a lot of doom stuff back then. I never tried Southern Lord. I should have probably tried Southern Lord. I tried Moribund Cult the one time. Didn't work out because the old goat didn't like it. I don't know if he didn't like it. I think he said something about there was too many. My first EP had too many covers on it or something like that. He didn't like covers. Can't remember what he said. He said something. But it is what it is. Oliver Brewing Company. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's when I started Wolf Layer Records and I started doing my own releases. I didn't need other people. Fuck them. Okay, nice hop haze on this one. I wouldn't say haze for days, but I would say definitely a nice hop haze being generated right here at least. A nice little pinky of white head. Alcohol like sticking from that 9% alcohol by volume. There you go. All right. There you go. Let's get an aroma. Cheers. There's a confectionery sugar sweetness coming out of this. And a hint of caramel, too. I wonder how old this is. Does it actually say? No, it doesn't say. Shit. Because there's a caramel confectionery sugar sweetness. And when those two come together, that usually is indicative of a little bit of too much of an age. Hopefully, but I've smelt that though, but then it doesn't translate to the taste at all. pungent, resiny, hints through there. A perfumey quality and grapefruit. I get resin quality, a little bit of resinous qualities coming up. I have perfuminess and I have a little bit of grapefruit mixing with that confectionery sugar and a little bit of caramel. Let us get into this most generator. Cheers. Tastes a little old. I don't know if it is. I might think it is, but it tastes like it's got some age on it. Kind of indicative of the aroma. Little hint of confectionery sugar sweetness, caramel, pretty heavy malt base. A waft, the slightest waft of the grapefruit. You have a little bit of that perfumey tone going through, a little bit of resinous qualities in the background mixing together. It's not the greatest. Don't have a lot of bitterness at all. A slight burn right about here from that 9% alcohol. Notice that. Bit boring. Kind of like Moss Generator. I just did it right there. So, yeah. So if you're trying to fit the band, you just nailed it right on the head. There you go. It's not bad. It's not offensive. Pour the rest in. There you go. The artwork's probably the best thing about it. I mean, you can see the vampiric bat wings and stuff on this little creature that's hovering over the castle and castle ruins. It looks like Dogo Dor. You know, it's got that really cool. It does have like this really cool oil water kind of color scheme that reminds me of Tolkien shit, and then of course some just vampiric darkness, which is really nice. This is that would definitely be a cool wall hanger, like a big picture would be really cool. I don't know if this is a Moss Generator cover. That might be why it's on here, which is really cool. And usually, some of these good death metal bands and doom metal bands have pretty cool artists do their label art for them. So I see the Lone Rider here on a horse, and it's pretty damn cool. I can tell you right now, it would definitely be something that would definitely be awesome. It is a big centerpiece on a wall. Don't know if it says who the artist is. That's what usually Peter does with his. It doesn't say whose artist it is, so I'm gonna have to assume that the artwork is indicative of the band itself. So if you want to check out this artwork I'm talking about, at least if you don't really consider the music, at least check out the artwork. Moss Generator, and it's MOS, not MOSS, just Moss Generator, like Uno Mas, maybe. Beer's not so good though, so I'm gonna have to throw this beer. It's got a hefty malt base you expect from a lot of DIPAs, especially the older school DIPAs. You're gonna have a bigger malt base. You're gonna get more of that caramel coming out. It's got a little bit of confectionery sugar sweetness. I don't know how old this beer is. You're not getting too much of a sharp grapefruit, just like muddled reminiscences of a grapefruit. Got a little bit of hint of that resinous and a perfumey tone coming through. Like I said, it's not offensive, but I'm gonna have to throw it probably. It's gonna go probably 7.5. I kind of want to go 7, but at the same time, DIPAs, they're a little bit vague. I would have to say it's still basically textbook style for a DIPA. Maybe not the freshest IPA, but 7.5. I'm gonna go 7.5 on this one. For the Moss Generator from Oliver Brewing Company. Actually, I've been enjoying some Oliver Brewing Company stuff. They haven't been doing too much bad stuff. I had a pack a long time ago now of their DIPA pack, where every beer in the series of that 4-pack was based on a band. It was DIPA. I think Maryland was the worst one out of the pack. I think I gave a 7 to that one, but all the other ones were pretty much 9s. 9, 8. In the 8 to 9 region, which they were good. They were good. So, would like to see more crazy stuff. I don't know. I think Oliver Brewing Company needs to go to that next level. Let's see what some imperial stouts, barley wines, old ales. No one does a fucking old ale anymore. Like, when's the last time you saw an old ale from somebody? People do make old ales, but more like traditional brewers. I'm talking about like a new brewer. Like, what's your old ale? What's going on with that? There are beer styles that have been kind of thrown to the wayside. But I'd like to see some of these newer breweries do it, and not like this. We'll throw a bunch of hops at it. Get your fucking hops away from my old ale, okay, buddy? Because this whole, I'm okay with a triple IPA. And I'm not going to call it American Barley Wine, because all it is triple IPA. I'm okay with that if you do it right, but honestly, I'd rather don't go for the barley wine style of a triple IPA. Go for the hiding the malt base, giving you a bunch of hops, like the other half. Other half does a really good style of triple IPAs, according to Joe from the Beer Patrol. And actually, the Evergreen stuff is pushing 10 plus. They're doing some really good stuff too. So they're taking those DIPAs to the absolute max, where you could actually start calling them triples, and I'm into that. But as far as the American barley wines go, there's not too many American barley wines I really dig. Old Horizontal from Victory Brewing Company from Downingtown, Pennsylvania, was a big fan of mine. I haven't seen it in a long time. The last time I actually saw it was it's in its other guise, which would be oaked horizontal. And all of the ones that I bought, I think, were from 2014. All the bottles I would ever find. And I found another bottle after that, and I bought that too, and it was beautiful. It was absolutely glorious. But ever since that, I've never seen another bottle, and they did a pretty good one. The other one is Bigfoot. Bigfoot's okay. Bigfoot's an American barley wine. It's all right. The thing is, aging Bigfoot is one of those things. It's like, it's getting a beautiful, beautiful, tasty present, but you have to eat the cardboard box it came in too. Because a lot of those hops, once you get 6-7 years on it, or less than that. But once you start getting age on those hops, they go kind of cardboardy. You know what I mean? It's just, they do. You start getting off flavors, and you start getting those nasty kind of earthy flavors. There's good earthy and there's bad earthy, you know what I mean? So, barley wines are a wine, or is a beer that is meant to sit to mature. American barley wines is a beer that is heavily hopped to enjoy I don't know. Because you don't want to enjoy it fresh, because it's just going to taste like hops and booze, and you're not going to like it. So then you have to age it like a proper barley wine, and then you're not going to get the hop character, but you might get a half-decent barley wine out of it, except the fact that you're loaded with cardboard bullshit hops. So, basically, try to cut down on the barley wine side and try to go for the triple IPA side, and stop making American barley. I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, as a guy who buys them and drinks them, who spends real, actually money on beers. So don't, I'm just one of your patrons. Don't fucking bother what I say. You do whatever you do, boo boo. But yeah, it's a style that's always, American barley wines have always. I know we're talking about a DIPA right now, but it's American barley wines is just not a style that ever set right with me because of what they are, because they're not proper, if you know what I mean. So, but yeah, the triple IPAs, I think that's what these guys should start trying to do. Go for a little bit more ABVs. To cut down on the malt base, slap some hop on. Let's go crazy, because everything from Oliver Brewing Company that I've had has been good. It's not been crazy. Let's go crazy. Let's start fucking going nuts. I don't care what you do. I mean, if you want to do a series of beers, it's fine with the record labels and shit. But your DIPAs, they're not. I don't know. They're too traditional, for one, and they're too. I think all the DIPAs from Oliver Brewing Company have been too malt forward. They definitely have been too malt forward, and it doesn't let the hop really carry through correctly. Now, let's see. I would say like cut back. I hate to say follow the trend, because never do that. But at the same time, I would say cut back some of those heavy caramel malts, because they're the ones that the first thing that's going to happen is as soon as it starts aging, it's going to start boosting those confectionery sugars, because that's what they do. But cut back on that, and then start getting just like the wheats, torrefied wheats in there, or oat, something like that, just to bump up the malt base a little bit without giving a bunch of flavor to the malt base, and start laying the fucking hops down hardcore. I mean, late edition hops, obviously, and just start bumping up those fucking juicy components. I don't want you to go full New England IPA or anything like that. I don't think that's where Oliver Brewing Company needs to be, but just full on, Eastern IPA style. Just slap on that juice, But it's because Oliver Brewing Company is one of those ones where I've kind of got myself attached to them. I like them, but at the same time, they're not doing anything too innovative. They're not doing anything that's really making me go, yes, this is why I like Oliver Brewing Company. I've just kind of done a couple of beers that are like, yeah, it's good. It's a good beer. This is a good beer. That's a good beer, but they're not great beers. You know what I mean? And I wish they'd start doing something great, or at least if they're doing something great, I wish I could get a hold of it, that kind of thing. So that's kind of where I am with Oliver Brewing Company, but I'm going to have to give this one just a 7.5 because it's a standard, okay sound. It tastes already. I think it's so malt forward that already it's starting to get a little bit of that aged taste, if you know what I mean. So I'd kick back those malt bases a little bit on the next DIPA series and start throwing them. If you're going to go traditional, you better start wrecking my palate with bitterness. You know what I mean? I think that's a good example too. If you're going traditional, go hardcore, kick you in the fucking teeth traditional, where I should have a palate wrecker almost every time I have a beer, and I don't mind that. I actually like to get a really bombastic hit of hops and palate wrecking goodness now and again too. So, but your beers really haven't been doing that. So, I'm not trying to tell you how to run your brewery. I'm just giving you a little advice. Anyway, this has been Paul from PABrewNews. Cheers.